Frank, you want to go ahead and bring John on?
Sure. I mean, we've known Johnna now for all of personally sort of for about a month, and the team she was working with is gonna not be here shortly, so she decided to come here, and she's being recruited by all these other companies that are promising her the world. And I think, and hopefully she'll say, I think she made a good decision by coming here. And at the end of the day, just watching what she's doing is pretty impressive. Not from a standpoint that like nobody else can do it, but from a standpoint, Johnna, how many kids do you have?
4.
4. And you're a single mom?
Yes.
So like I look at Johnna and go, I don't want to name. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna go, Trey. What's your excuse? Like, like you're not a mom. You're not a single mom at that with 4 kids, and your kids are young, right, Johnna?
Yep. Almost 2, 3, 7, and then almost 14 tomorrow. Should be 14 tomorrow.
Okay, so like, what is your excuse? It's just, to me, this boils down to attitude and activity. Your attitude's good. You got massive activity. Everything else will seem to work out. So I know you wanted to go over the emoji leaderboard. Which
I want to add something to that, Frank, before
Yep.
we finish up. She had a great week last week, up through Friday. She worked Saturday, and then it looks like she sold 2 or 3 more on Sunday. And I know a lot of people, the weekends hit, and it's like it's the weekend, it's time off, but she works. So we see numbers like that, and it comes down to just working, more than anything else, and obviously a bunch of leads. So
no doubt, I agree, and that happens. Like I'd imagine you have appointments set, and you maybe went to call somebody on a Friday, like what, something came up, but I'm available Sunday morning, and you were like, okay. I mean, is that kind of how that went down?
Yeah, this was actually a client that I had from like 2 months ago, and he reached out to me because this guy makes like 2 million a year, and he's a big believer in life insurance. So he told me, he was like, I want every final expense policy that you can get me. So I wrote over like 30,000 on this guy. So yeah, I just
I love it. Okay. So you came, like, I don't know, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, you were like, we used to do this emoji leaderboard. And who's been here longer than 2.5 years? Raise your, give me a 1 in the chat box. I like when people do that. Just one of y'all. 2, 3, 4. Come on, give me. So like we used to post leaderboards. Johnny, before the FTC was like, you guys can't do that because Timmy over here came to work at FFL and thought he was going to get rich, but he was lazy and he did. Now he's living in his mom's basement and eating Cheetos in his underwear, posting bad stuff about you. So now you can't post numbers because some people find it offensive, whatever the case may be. We used to do that. And that's what drove a lot of people to get better was, hey, I'm chasing this person. I remember I used to go like, all right, here's the leaderboard. I'm going to get this one, then this one, then this one. And that's how I worked my way up every time. And Jamie would be like, we got to catch this team. We got to catch this group. I'm like, yes, we do. So I like it. Can you want to, I know you want to take some time to explain that, and then we're going to get to your mortgage stuff and what you're doing and how you're doing it. But I think this is big. And the more people we have participating in this, the better. Like, to be honest, if I go, you know what, after this call, we're gonna have 194 people, because that's what's on this call, start doing the emoji leaderboard, I'd be tickled pink. Will that happen? I don't know. I'm wishful thinking. It's definitely going to happen, Johnna. I'm going to speak it into existence. So can you go ahead and explain what that is and how to, can I pick my own emoji?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
So I've been with FFL. I've moved around a little bit, but I've been here for about 4 years, and every other agency, well, I've been in like 2 other agencies, but we had the emoji leaderboard. And last year when I wrote, over 900,000, it just became like a big thing for me, just, the competition. And we just had so much fun with it. It's like, okay, we got to, I got to take out this person. I got to take out this person. I got to be number 1 this week, and just pushing myself to get up there. And then you have the tiers, like the 10K tier, the 20K tier, the 30K tier. And I don't know, just having that visual and just being able to see where everybody's at, and then like set those goals for yourself. It really just drives sales. And the emojis are super fun because you get to bring a little bit of your personality, and And it kind of becomes, yeah, it kind of becomes part of your personality too. Like we had one guy who had a burrito as an emoji. He was Mexican, so everybody called him burrito. So yeah, thank you for sharing the screen. So I did, if you guys scroll up to the beginning of this week when the new week started, I did post training up there, like exactly how it works, how to, how to add your emoji. So it's
Okay, guys.
yeah, it's really easy. There's nothing super complicated about it. I'll explain how it works though. So you have to save your emoji next to your name. That way, when you post, people know who you are and where your number is on the board. And you do that by just going into the settings on Discord where you have your name and just put the emoji next to it and save it. And then to post on the board, you copy the last board that was posted and you paste it and then you add your numbers. So could you scroll down? Well, actually, that's fine. So see here where it says Americo Eagle, IVR, and then 862 at the top. So that AP was 862. So that was my one sale. So I added it to my other sales, So you just add it each time and then move your emoji up the board as you pass people. So that's basically it. You put your lead type. Now people know what kind of leads you're running. And it's super fun. And then, it's really fun if everybody gets in there and like cheers people on, drops the emoji comments in there and, pushes people, and it's super, super fun. So yeah,
I agree.
As you can see, there's not a ton of people participating yet. So we want you guys to participate because it's going to drive sales and, create more like culture and fun. So
For sure. Okay, awesome. And you know what? I think I'm not going to start this bag with questions. At the end, maybe if we have some time and y'all have some questions about this, I guess we can answer them. But John, I really want to get into the not that this isn't important because leaderboards are super important.
Yep.
But can you tell us what you do to be at the top of the leaderboards? Because that's what's most important to this. And I think just hearing it, you were on our call, what, 6 months ago, maybe? It might have been a little longer, a little shorter than that. And I just remember going, that's so simple. It really is. And I think it gives people that look at you as a top producer that might go, gosh, she's so much better than I am. A little glimpse into what you do, and maybe they can realize that it's really not that complicated. It's more just, getting your word tracks down, knowing where to guide and steer a conversation and staying in control. So I'm gonna let you rip with what you want to go over as far as how you're doing what you do. And then Mike, if you have any questions or I do, we can chime in a little bit.
So this business is all about scaling and, taking risks and basically betting on yourself. And I feel like that was like the biggest thing for me. Like when I put the pieces together, like, okay, I know I can sell insurance. Like I've proven myself I can sell insurance. I know that the more leads I buy, the more appointments I have, the more chance I have at selling. So it just became this thing of like, okay, like I dropped 3,000 mailers. Now I got to do 5,000. I got to a point where I was dropping like 7,000 a week. That's when I was, writing like over 100,000 a month, a lot of the time last year. But I just took the money and, the leads are expensive. Like they're very expensive. It's very scary to spend $5,000 on leads, especially when you only have like 12K in the bank or something like that. So that's kind of where I was at. And I was like, okay, I'm about to spend half the money that I have on leads right now. I'm going to get this dialer. I'm going to get the second dialer. So it's just when you have those opportune moments where you can just keep pouring back into your business, don't like hold on to your money in fear that you're going to lose it. Like you have to pour it into your business and trust in, how this business works. So that was really the defining factor for me when I took off, was when I just got myself like a second dialer. I got myself more leads. I started running 17 appointments a day, and it was just like it skyrocketed immediately.
Okay. And I know what that's, actually I don't, because I'm never, but Jamie, like, so there's usually one in each household that's a little more conservative, one that's a little less concerned. I'm completely less. Like I would spend all the money in our bank account and not even know it's gone. But from a business standpoint, how did you overcome that fear, that uncomfortability that you had going like, I've got 4 kids and this has to work. You could very easily said, I'm not doing this. Like, how did you push yourself across that or over that hump to go, you know what, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah, well, I was actually dealing with a custody case with my son, and I needed to be able to afford a very expensive lawyer so that I could win. So, you know, it was kind of like I had my back against the wall a little bit, and you know, I think you kind of have to mentally trick yourself to put your own back against the wall. Just be like, whatever, like this is my life, like this is my life, like this is my family, whatever it is, however you can, like, you know, make it in your head that this is do or die. So yeah, that was pretty much it.
Yeah, no, that's good. I think, you know, and I don't know, you know, because it's a slippery slope. Like, I think Sean was really good with certain people of backing us into a corner and putting us, you know, against the wall. And I always ask him, I'm like, dude, how do you know? He tells me, he's like, I didn't. And I guess I believe him. And Trey and Dom, you've been around since, you know, like forever. And you know, you guys can chime in, let me know if you believe that. But I'm like, dude, what if you would have said to me, John, or what if I'd have said to you, Johnna, invest 5 grand? You know, you got 12 in the bank, invest about half, and you would have failed. Right. That's always the scary part of this to me, is like, I don't ever want to put somebody in a bad position, but I do believe with your back against the wall, you work at a different level. What did you do before you got into the life insurance industry?
So I was like a bank teller for a few months, but I hated working in a like 9 to 5 corporate job. Before that, I had my own little like house cleaning business, and my son was a baby. So I used to just like take him and like wear him on my back while I clean houses, but he got too big and got heavy, and it was too like inconsistent. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go get a 9 to 5. And I was like, you know, I hate the 9 to 5 life. So let me figure something else out.
So did you go to college?
I did. Yeah, I graduated from the University of South Carolina.
With what
Complete waste
type
of
of degree?
money.
What was your degree in?
I did like a mixed degree. I had my first child while I was in college, so I kind of just did like a mixed degree so I could get out and graduate as fast as possible. But I did a mix of like business management, hospitality.
Okay. So nothing really that could provide you the type of income you're making now.
No, definitely not.
No. And yeah, I'm with you. Definitely not. So, all right. So how long have you been selling insurance altogether?
About 5 years.
About 5 years. And you weren't with FFL all 5.
No, I started at another IMO, and then I came over to FFL after a few months.
Okay. It took a few months to figure out that you weren't at the right spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And did you start out doing mortgage, or were you doing final expense in the beginning?
I started out doing mortgage, and then when I came to FFL, I did final expense.
Okay. But now you're back to all mortgage?
Yeah, all mortgage.
And you doing any IULs?
I do IULs, yeah.
Okay. Now, are you doing IUL leads, or are you doing IULs through mortgage protection leads?
Just through mortgage protection, you
Okay.
know, it's just I feel out my clients and just figure out, you know, like kind of what they want and what they need, and a
For
lot of
sure.
times it ends up being an IUL.
Okay. So can you walk us through what your day, first of all, what your schedule looks like? And are you dropping 5,000 leads a week?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
doing 5,000 a week. That's actually low for me. Like last year, I was doing like 6,500.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so let me see. Does anybody on here? So 5,000 at how much per piece of data?
75 cents. It comes out to about 3,800 a week.
$3,800 a week. Anybody on here that's not spending that's spending $3,800 a week? I know, I'm sure Jesse is, I'm sure Nick is, I'm sure there are probably a couple others. Dom might be. Amy Mickle, yeah, Amy is. Okay. So let me see who Rami does. I'm trying to figure out who does about 20 grand a month. If you do 20 grand a month, can you just put a number 1 in the chat if you average about 20 grand a month? Not you, Amy. You just start, yeah. David Germain. Okay, David, what is your weekly lead spend? Just type it in the chat because everybody's muted. You got to calculate it. Let me know. I would venture to say your weekly lead spend is probably $1,200, $2,200, and you're doing all IULs, and you're at $3,800. And what did you issue last month?
Me?
Yeah, Johnna.
Oh, I don't want to talk about my numbers at all from this year. I've been going through so many transitions. I don't even. Yeah.
What did you write? What did you submit last week?
Last week I submitted. I think that was the 28,000, right?
20, I believe so.
Yeah.
Okay. So most people, and I 99% of y'all, if you would jack your lead spend up to what Johnna is, the results might not be exactly the same, but they would be a hell of a lot more than what they are now. It's always a direct correlation of how much you spend on leads, how many appointments you're writing, to how much you're closing. It doesn't change. Did you start out spending $3,800 a week on leads?
No, for the longest time, I was spending 2,000 a week.
2,000 a week.
And I never grew because I never invested more, you know?
Yeah. What did you issue last year? Just under $1 million?
940,000.
940. And when did you change your lead spend from whatever it was, 2,000 to 38? Was it last year, the year before last?
It was the year before last.
Okay. So the year before last, what did you issue before you changed it to 3,800?
I did just over 400,000.
Just over 400,000. So she just, and that's like, y'all see 400 grand, just about doubled her lead investment, doubled her production, more than doubled her production. A lot of times that's how it works. It's if you double your lead investment, a lot of times you'll write more than double because you just become better so much faster. It's almost like if you were trying to get good at golf and Jesse, you hit 100 balls a day, but I hit 250. I'm going to get better a lot faster than you. Or better yet, if you hit 100 and I hit 1,000, how much faster am I going to get better than Jesse? I'm doing 10 times the amount of work he's doing in a day. That's all this boils down to. So can you go through, so your leads are 3,800. What is your schedule?
My schedule, I go to the gym in the morning and then my appointments start at like 9:45. So as soon as I get home from the gym, I'm like getting on appointments. And I run until about 7:30 at night. Last year I was running from like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And I burn out like
right.
Yeah, I was like burnt out for a couple months in the beginning of this year. So now I'm like playing catch up. But yeah, I work a lot. Like my goal is to have a minimum of 15 appointments a day.
15 a day. Okay. And then can you go through is your presentation the same in every appointment?
Yeah.
Perfect. Can you go through that with me? Do you want to role play? I can have Mike role play with you. He's better than that. Actually, he's not better than that than I am.
Yes. Can you hold on 1 second? My cat is doing something really irritating and I need to get move him away.
Yeah, for sure.
Frank loves cats.
He
He would kill it if he was there with you.
Why are you being good at?
Cat ate too much catnip.
Yeah, he doesn't play about his food. He wants to eat, but he's gonna have to wait. So.
Okay. So can you kind of go through what an appointment would look like? I'll role play with you.
Sure. Okay. Hi, Frank.
Hey, what's up?
Hi. My name is Johnna. I'm the underwriter that was assigned to go over the mortgage protection with you and Jamie. How are you guys doing today?
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you. So I wanted to start us out here just by verifying a few details that I have. This is information my dialers collect. So I say, okay, so it looks like you have a new mortgage for $350,000. You're paying, $2,100 a month. Does that sound correct?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay, great. So I'll explain to you guys a little bit about what I do and what the process is with the mortgage protection. So as a state licensed underwriter, I work with all of the A-rated insurance carriers in the state of Maryland that offer the mortgage protection plans. And it's my job to be like the eyes and ears for the insurance carriers. They don't require any medical exams or blood draws or anything like that. They just had me talk to you to verify your eligibility and to go over your options with you. So
Okay.
I just need to ask you some questions to see what type of mortgage protection you guys may need, to see what you would qualify for. And then I can put together some suitable options that I think might work for you. If we find something that does make sense, all we can do today is put in an application to see if we can get you approved, okay?
Okay.
All right. So first of all, do you guys know what mortgage protection is?
I think so.
Okay, what do you think it is?
If something happens to me, the loan's paid off?
Yeah, that's a part of it. It can vary from person to person depending on what they qualify for. We have a couple different ways that we do mortgage protection, but that's always the most, sought after plan, right? The what everybody would like, right, is to have the house paid off
Sure.
if something happens to them. Now, due to agent help, that's not always possible. So we'll go over, what you would actually qualify for and things like that. But yeah, it can protect you in the event of death, illness, that if something happens to you, you and your loved ones are taken care of as it pertains to the mortgage. Make sense?
Sure.
Okay, perfect. And does that sound like that would be important to you guys to have some kind of protection for this?
Yeah, but I think I'm already paying something with the bank.
Okay, yeah, I hear that a lot. That's actually, the banks don't offer mortgage protection. Quite a long time ago, it was moved under the life insurance umbrella. Now with the bank, the type of insurance that you buy would be, like the PMI insurance, and that actually protects the lender, if you default on the loan. It does not protect your family if something happens to you. And then obviously the other type of insurance would be homeowners.
Right. No, I had the other the PMI stuff.
Right. So
They
yeah,
didn't
I'll
tell me
keep
that.
it
Okay.
confused. Yep. So okay, so you guys do think that it would be important, to try to get the house paid off or at least have some kind of financial protection in the event of something happening to you. Is that right?
For sure.
Okay, cool. So let's get into it a little bit. I just need to get a little bit of information to see, what's gonna make sense for you guys and everything. So what do you guys do for work?
Um, I'm a plumber and my wife works as a teacher.
Okay, perfect. And what is each of your individual monthly net incomes?
That's more her department. Monthly net.
Yes,
That's what I put in my bank.
exactly.
I'm about 2,800 a month and she's about 1,500.
800, 1,500. Okay. And then your mortgage is 2,100. So
Correct.
would you guys say that you rely on each other's incomes to be able to afford the house and keep the ship afloat over there?
For sure.
Yeah, it looks like it. And do you guys have any other like life insurance or anything that acts like life insurance, any assets?
We have some assets. Like I have a 401k and um she has something through school. I don't know what that's called. I think it's called a 401 or 403b or something like that. Um I don't have life insurance. I don't think she does either.
Okay. All right. Have you guys thought about getting it ever?
Yeah, we've thought about it. We just haven't.
Haven't got to it yet.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, all right. Well, sounds good. So let's look at some options since we've established that you guys need some protection. That's fairly obvious to me. Do you guys think that's obvious to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. So let's look at some options. So, Frank, what is your date of birth?
21172.
Okay. And your height and weight?
I'm 6'3", 212 pounds.
Okay. Do you smoke tobacco?
Not anymore.
All right. How long ago did you quit?
Shit. 10 years ago?
10 years ago. Okay. Any health problems?
No, I just got a new hip.
Okay. How long ago?
February.
Gotcha. Okay. And are you prescribed any medications?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And then, what's Jamie's date of birth?
3/6/91.
Okay, same questions. She
Yeah.
healthy, no meds. Okay, great. Okay, perfect. So just bear with me for a minute. I'm just gonna, see what you guys qualify for and put together some options. So now I'm going over to the insurance toolkit in my lovely CRM that I bought and, looking for what they qualify for based on what they told me. Obviously If somebody gets a hip replacement in February, they don't qualify for term, right? Or do they?
No, they do.
They do?
I
Okay.
wouldn't see why they wouldn't. I don't know. I haven't sold insurance in 4 years.
I guess it would depend what meds you're on.
Yeah, I'm not taking no meds. I didn't even take any meds when I got my hip replaced.
Gotcha. Okay, so I got your options here. Now I'm gonna explain to you guys how the coverage works. It looks like you would qualify for a full payoff where, so we might be able to cover the full thing, or sometimes we'll do even like half of it or 3/4 of it, depending on what's affordable.
Okay.
So basically what this plan covers you for, America is my go-to if, if they qualify. So, what it will do for you is if you pass away or become terminally ill, it's going to pay off the mortgage. It's just going to pay out that cash tax-free to your family. If you get diagnosed with a critical illness or a chronic illness, such as cancer, heart attack, stroke, kidney disease, ALS, major organ failure, or any type of chronic condition where you're unable to perform 2 of the 6 activities of daily living without substantial assistance from another person for a 90-day period. Those are like eating, bathing, dressing, toileting, transferring, those types of things. You can file a claim and they'll advance you up to 100% of the 350,000 or whatever face amount we go with. Make sense?
Yes, got it.
And then if it's like young people, I'll say, and the best part about it, at the end of the 30 years, you have the option to get all your money, right? So, so then, I'll put together a couple, like I usually do like 3 options for each person.
Okay.
So, how old are you in this appointment?
Yeah, what I say, 53.
53. Okay, so what I usually present for a 53-year-old, I usually say, okay, well, unless you're making a ton of money in your situation, you're not in this situation. So what I would normally do for a 53-year-old in this type of scenario is I would cover half of the mortgage for 15 years. And the plan I set up for them is like, okay, so what we're going to do is if something happens to you in the first 15 years of the 30-year mortgage, your wife is going to be able to pay off half of the mortgage and then refinance the remainder and get a lower payment. After the 15 years is up, half of it's going to be paid off anyways. So, she can do the same thing when the insurance is over. So that's what I would suggest. And then I say, okay, well, that's going to cost you, $212 a month or whatever. I mean, you don't, in this situation, you don't make very much money. So I don't know if that's even going to be affordable, but
right.
But whatever, that's basically how I go. And then once they pick the option, I say, okay, or once I give them the option, say, okay, so which option do you guys think is the most suitable and affordable that you'd like to make the applications for?
The second one.
Okay, perfect. So the next step is to put in the application to see if we can get you approved. It just takes about 10 minutes. So open the application. All right, sir, what is your middle initial? And then, I go through it and, I'm building a lot of rapport in the appointment, like connecting, laughing, reaffirming that, they're doing a good thing for their family. I get to the bank information and the way that I get, this is like my finesse to get the, policy issued immediately. So once we get to the bank information, I say, okay, so unless we specify otherwise, if you're approved, they're going to put the protection in place immediately so that your family is protected immediately. That means the first premium will come out in about 48 to 72 hours. Is that okay? 95% of the time they say yes. Unless they really just don't have the money in the bank, then they'll say no. But then, then you're not like I don't like just doing it without kind of like making sure they're okay with it, because then you're going to deal with like insufficient funds and people getting mad at you sometimes. So, but that works really, really well for me. So again, I say, unless we specify otherwise, this policy will issue immediately if you're approved, and the first premium we draft in 48 hours. Is that okay? They say yes. I say, okay. And will you guys be using a joint checking or savings account or individual accounts for the payment? For joint, right? Okay. So, and then I say, all right, well, now I need to input the payment information. Could you grab your routing and account numbers for me? And then they get them and I put it in. And then I submit it. And then once I submit it, I say, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and submit this now. We'll see in just a minute if you get approved, sent to underwriting, or God forbid declined. Okay, so we'll see in just a few minutes. So I submit it. Once it comes back as approved, say, congratulations, Frank, you guys are approved. And then this is my tie down. So I say a few things. I want to say, Nicole, I do telesales and Zoom, like half and half. I say, all right, so a few things I want to let you know before I let you go. So you'll get your policy in the mail in about 7 to 10 business days. I personally always just like do paper policies. I just uncheck the email thing. And I say, it looks like this. Okay, this is the same type of policy that I have. So you'll get this in the mail in about 7 to 10 business days. Make sure you keep it in a safe place and your beneficiaries know about it. If you get any other letters in the mail about mortgage protection, you can disregard those. You do not have to respond to them. If anybody else gets you on the phone to talk about it, just let them know you got it taken care of. Sometimes they will try to say things to trick you, like your file was flagged for review, or the underwriter might have made a mistake and they need to fix it and look it over. It's all BS sales tactics. So don't listen to that. They're just trying to sell you, something. Now I got you set up with Amerigo. They're the company that specializes in the mortgage protection because they offer 100% for death, terminal, critical illness, and chronic illness. So you got the most comprehensive type of mortgage protection. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I want you to go ahead and save my number in your phone now. And, good news is you got approved. Bad news is you're stuck with me for life now. So I'm gonna be your agent for life. If you guys need any other insurance, just give me a call. If you need any help with your policies, call me or text me. That is, my personal line where you can reach me. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank
All
you.
right. You're welcome. Were you happy with my service today?
I was.
Awesome. Well, it was a pleasure to meet you guys. And like I said, if you need anything, just shoot me a text or call me, okay?
All righty. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bam, dude, that was simple. That was really easy. Mike, you got anything?
Yeah, Johnna, what changed? Because it was like all of a sudden last week you were like, you said something happened to where when you were first here, I think you said it was just your mindset. Remember, you were going to switch leads and you didn't know which way you were going to go, but then all of a sudden it just blew up. And then you told me, you said it just clicked in your mind, and all of a sudden everything went back to normal. And you said, "Bitches, I'm back." Like, what caused that to happen?
Well, so I had a really rough year after a convention. Like I left the agency I was at. There was just some stuff and I left there and then I went to another agency and then, I didn't really I wasn't like feeling the vibe there all the way. And then they just went to a whole other IMO and I'm like, okay, well, I'm not ready to just go switch to a whole IMO. I don't know, I was almost going to go, but then I didn't. So I came, I talked to Mike and Frank and I was like, okay, I think this is going to be the best move for me. So I came over here and I just, I'm a big believer in energy. And when I just started to get settled in here and I just kind of felt the energy of this space, I just felt like I was back. I don't know, I can't explain it. It's just something shifted.
Isn't it amazing how powerful we talk about it all
Mhm.
the time about how important mindset is? And then all of a sudden you said that switched in your mind and you just exploded, right?
Yeah.
And that's it's powerful. I think it's more powerful than most people believe, but I love it. It was great when you posted that day. We were laughing in the office. I mean, it feels good. When you're on, and when you're on, you just keep everyone you talk to yourself. So it's great. I love to see it.
Yeah, agreed. Jamie.
Yes.
Oh, there you are. You like how I made you 10 years younger?
Did. I was fired up about that. Thank you.
You're welcome. You've been talking to John a lot. What do you have to add?
Well, I mean, I think one of the things that I think that if you didn't pick up on it, she's super, super casual about her conversation. So she doesn't sound like a telemarketer. She doesn't sound like a person. She doesn't sound like she's desperate. I think a lot of times when people get people on the phones, they're trying to hurry up and they're just trying to pull a fast one. It almost feels. It's just slow down and you're in control. You're the solution. This person has put the request in. It doesn't matter if it's mortgage protection. It doesn't matter how the mortgage protection got there, if it was final expense, or it doesn't matter what. You are the professional and she's the professional and she's in control of the entire conversation, but she's having a casual conversation with just another human being. I think people just get so caught up in having to they've now put on their official hat of insurance agent. It's No, she's just a person talking to a person, period. That's it. So peel it back and just realize that, but she was completely navigating the entire call. It's like she's like almost like she's digging around for the problem so that way she can patch it up with an application. That's all she was doing. And I think some people just get this so mixed up. It's like it's just like it's
Complicated.
a sale. Yeah, it's like it's
Hey,
not complicated.
did you hear what she said when she said, "Can you see how this would make sense or some benefit you?" And I was like, "Yeah." She was
Yeah.
like, "I would definitely agree with that." Like
Yeah.
almost like just, and it was so subtle, yet
Mm-hmm.
like, dude, we only make $4,800 a 38, whatever it was, 3,800
Yeah.
a month. Our mortgage payment's 2021. Like,
Yeah.
can you see
It's
how
gonna
y'all
be
would
tight
be
if
screwed?
something happens
Yeah,
to the other.
but
But she was very aware.
aware, but she also wasn't, it wasn't rude. Like I don't remember exactly what you said, Johnna, but I'm going like, yeah, if I'd have said that, someone might have smacked the shit out of me because I'd have been like, dude, you're broke. If you don't get this, your wife's gonna leave you. But like you said it, we're almost like I can't say no at that point.
Yeah,
And
well,
that's
she said it sounds to me like you actually each rely on. So it sounds like you guys need this to keep that ship afloat. Because I wrote
yeah,
that down.
yeah,
So she said.
yeah. John,
Which
that's fire.
again, it's like people can see like the ship sinking fast, right? If one of our incomes are gone in that scenario, the ship's gone down. We're up the creek without a paddle. And I like how she uses just those little visuals because life insurance has to be visual, people.
Mm.
And if it's not, because if not, it's a piece of paper that's there when you're gone. You're not even here anymore. So I love it. I love how just your tonality, super calm, super casual. So yeah.
Johnna, what's your persistency?
Um, it's it's around like 85%.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I was figuring. I mean,
It varies. It like 82 to 85%, I would say.
yeah, I mean that's the deal. That's part of the deal.
Yeah.
Um, all right. So anything you can think of that that you think would benefit this group, anybody looking to get into mortgage protection, which I think everybody should get into mortgage protection because it's so dude, if there were if you can get leads, which we can, it's a no-brainer. You get paid every other day. I mean, if you the way you're right, you get paid every day. I mean, like when I was in the field, I was getting paid every other day because I was in the field every other day almost. But with this, you get paid, you get deposits. You wake up every morning, look at your bank account, Johnna.
Yeah,
Yeah. And you see all these big deposits every day.
a lot of the days.
A lot
On
of
her
days.
story
I
last
mean,
week,
this past week, yes.
it was 10 grand. She had one day was 10,000.
Yeah, I
So
had a 10,000. This morning it was 5,000.
You want why? You want to know why she's smiling like that? You wake up and the first thing you see is a $10,000 deposit in your bank account. Your ass would be smiling all day too. Shit. Just saying.
And it makes it a lot easier to hit those phones too.
Facts. Facts.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, do you have anything else you want to wrap up with, or
yeah,
does
the
anybody
leads,
have-
the leads that we're generating on Facebook right now, I posted that payment protector, but it says Americo. So I think it makes it real easy when you're getting the Facebook leads and you're talking about Americo, because at the end, when they finish filling out, their request for mortgage protection, we're showing them a document from Americo talking about the payment protector and actually talking about mortgage protection. So I think it's a great lead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed.
Oh, we also added, because we are killing Hall of Fame, and Hall of Fame at the beginning of the year had 1 million territories that were open. If you go to the store, we added another vendor on the store where you can get the IVR leads from. It was Captain Mailer. Is that what it is, Johnna?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, so we added another vendor to make sure that we can get the volume that we need for people that want to do IVR leads, IVR mortgage. There were plenty before, but as soon as we started posting this, man, things are going quick. So
Yeah.
we added a third vendor now on the store.
I just want to add one more thing. Guys, if you're not financially in a place that you want to be, Johnna does this live in a
Someone just
dial room.
asked that, like, and I'm
Oh,
wondering, like, are you? No disrespect.
Not plugged in.
Are you under a rack? Because under a rock? Because I've seen it like 20 times over the last 7 days. Like, John, I'm on about to close one. live in the dial room. So yes, she's on live dials. She's doing it in front of everybody. Plus a bunch of other people are doing the same thing. Mark, you're showing them leads. So can you show them where the dial room is? Is it in the agent hub or something?
It's it's the dialteam.fflall.com. The dialteam.fflall.com. But she puts
Every day.
forward and then we start sharing it all over the place. So she literally is on every day telling people exactly where she's going to be.
And there's usually not more than 5 or 10 people in there. So, there's a lot of people on this call.
We got 200 people on here.
Yeah,
So listen,
100%.
don't complain to your spouse, don't complain to your kids, don't complain to your upline, your downline, your friend, anybody if you have a financial problem, because all this is massive activity. Follow the leader. It's like just duplicate what she didn't say anything special. She doesn't have a Harvard degree. She didn't come here with buku money. You heard what she did before. I mean, maybe she, I mean, like, I don't know, but I know 4 kids like to eat, and I know like what this business pays versus what she was saying she was doing before. Like, guys, you have to get out of the way and just put one step in front of the other and do the things that people are doing that are successful, and no more complaints. The only complaint should be you looking in the mirror saying, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, period.
Yeah, agreed.
And just to give you guys like a little bit of guidance just on like goal setting to kind of get you there. Like I think the first goal should be 2,000 a week in leads, submitting 10K a week. And just doing that consistently every week for at least a month, and building up your bank account a little bit. And then you take it to the next level, and then you do 3,000 a week and, maybe think about getting a dialer at that point. But you definitely need to be, I know a lot of you are probably going to message me and be like, where do I get a dialer? Like, no, a dialer is not your solution. Okay.
That's right.
You have to provide twice as many leads for a dialer because they burn your leads. So you need to be able to afford to buy a lot of leads. And you have to train them consistently, at least for 2 months in the beginning to get them up to speed. So you need to have capital to be able to make that investment and to make that work.
If you don't have a dialer, then maybe you're only dropping 1,500 and wearing the leads out. I mean, it's again, where there's a will, there's a way. And I think if anybody on this call truly wants it, dude, it's just a matter of committing to it. And once you do, it's a wrap. Literally, once you go on, enough is enough is enough. I'm doing this. Come hell or high water, there's no plan B. Once you do that, man, it's so easy. It truly is.
What she said in the beginning was she was trying to gain custody of her child. Frank, remember what that old person told us long time ago when we first got started?
If the building was on fire?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I'll tell you, if you're on a 15-story building and your child was in the building next to you and the building was on fire and there was a 2x4 connecting the 2 buildings, would you not walk across it to get your child? Like, it's like, what would you not do to be successful at this? Legal, ethical, what would you not do? Is there anything you wouldn't do? Always. And then I think they used the comparison, like if your child was diagnosed with an illness and the doctor said, you take this, good news, bad news. Bad news is your child's got a life-threatening condition. Good news is they take this pill and they're cured in 2 days. The challenge is the pill's not covered by insurance. It's 25 grand. What would you not do to come up with 25 grand in 7 days? Like, y'all wouldn't sleep. And I think if you work this business with that sense of urgency, just for a few months, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, dude, you would be so much further ahead because you would have done so much activity and you would have heard so many objections, got so many no's, and you would have handled so much stuff. The learning curve would condense from, sometimes a year, 2 years to a couple months. And that's where the magic is. And so, we're excited to have you, Johnna.
Thank you. And even with that, guys, like even if you have a hard time like creating this like false scenario in your head and tricking yourself into doing something, I'll tell you something that's the reality for all of you is you have one life. You have your family and you have one life, and you need to fight for your life like it depends on it, because it's like, what do you want to do? You want to be stuck in a 9-to-5, you want to not be able to travel, you want to not be able to have this time with your kids and do these things that you want to do and live your life to the fullest. So you have to wait, you have to just like find that heart and like go after go after it with everything you got with that urgency, because this life is short. And, you know, I know that you guys all have probably big dreams and things that you want in your life. And I think those are the things that God wants for everybody, you know, so it's like, you just have to put in the work and have faith that it's all going to work out.
Yeah, agreed. Well, Johnna, thank you so much for sharing with us. Made it very simple, and again, numbers are numbers, and I think anybody on here can do exactly what Johnna's doing if they commit to what she's doing and the way she's doing it. So thank you all for hopping on. Mike, you got anything to add before we wrap it up?
No, that's it. A couple people asked where the calls are. I posted a link to where all of our Monday night calls are stored. People want to know where you can get the IVR leads. You can get them off of our store, and then we posted her script. Everything was posted in the chat. So make sure you're plugged into Discord, and you'll see every time she posts when she's going to do a sale for everyone. So
Everybody make sure you get your emoji up so you can get on that Discord leaderboard, guys. Everybody should start participating in the leaderboard. It will change your business, whether you like it or don't.
And I do wanted to do one little housekeeping thing about the emoji leaderboard, because this can be kind of an annoying thing for everybody. But if you see somebody typing on there and posting a sale, just wait until they're done typing until they posted, because then you guys will both try to post at the same time and it messes up the numbers on the board. So, little housekeeping thing.
Got it.
awesome. Love it. See you guys
Thank
next
you.
week.